what I'm understanding is that their idea of moving the goalpost every time, that is changing the future by waiting at the moment when something has to happen for me in order to move into a different timeline, and disrupting that process by making sure things that's supposed to happen don't happen. Even if it's just one thing, it affects the whole thing. So they know that, and they're doing that because they can see before that time comes what's happening. Obviously, they're reading cards or something like that, and they essentially go in there and try to block me. They're trying to block my wish fulfillment, I guess, from coming through. However, they thought that they will be able to do that, right? They're going to keep doing that. But I'm seeing my uncle, and I'm seeing it in a very interesting way, where he used to be he has this issue with using money, right? But it feels like now it feels real. It feels very much I feel like he's spending a lot of money trying to keep up with the future. He's trying to make sure that the future doesn't happen. Something that needs to happen doesn't happen. However, his control is limited to him having one, ideas of how to stop it. Two, having a pawn that he can use to stop it. Three, having money to be able to afford to pay that pawn to be able to stop it. And lastly, the fourth one is me not getting any other opportunity except for what they can see. That is something that they cannot see coming through and changing the whole thing. So what I'm noticing with them is that they're very sad when it gets to, like, it will be fine on Sunday, right? Monday will also be fine, maybe Tuesday as well. Thursday, so. When it gets, Wednesday, but when it gets to Thursday, you can see that they're moping, like, they look very sad and nervous even sometimes, on urge. By Friday, they're still there. Saturday, very much there. Sunday, they do something. Someone does something, or they plan on something, or they say something, or they try to get me roped up into some sort of an idea or agreement or something like that. And when it doesn't work, it's like they're very sad. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, But now they did it again this week. They changed this past Sunday, right? It's 12:46 right now a.m. So yesterday they did something. They changed the future for this week. I think he spoke to someone who's supposed to do something for me. They held back my funds again. I think that's what they did. But in doing so, they wanted to buy more time for them to be able to continue with their deceit, in a sense of, I don't know what it is that they think they can do at this stage, but I do believe that it has something to do with me signing some sort of a demonic contract to attach myself to someone who has had that demonic contract behind. That is, they sign a demonic contract, and me signing a contract with them, I'm essentially signing a contract with the devil. But here's the thing: I don't give a fuck about these contracts, which are deceitful. and that don't suit me. I don't care if I sign a contract unknowingly and it just so happens to be a demonic contract. If I don't want the contract, even if it's not a demonic contract, that contract, it's not going to happen. And I think this is one of the things that they don't understand, that I'm a defragmentation tool. Anything that doesn't exist, anything that is of stealing of energy in any kind, I defragment and I disassemble it and I discard it and I disregard it because of it's not answering to the law of the universe, that is, you're not allowed to live off anyone else's energy. Therefore, you making somebody sign some sort of a contract which essentially puts them in a position of serving you with their energy in some way is a invalid contract in the universe. And I remember in the vision, I was going to realize this, that no, as much as I have been the person who's been saying, I don't care for demonic contracts. I don't care for demonic contracts. I don't care for the devil contracts. I don't care for any contract that I've done under some sort of an illusion of some kind. If you're not telling me exactly what that contract is at the beginning and I know what I'm signing up for truthfully, then that contract I don't want and I don't like, and it's not going to be the case. And if you make me sign some sort of a contract without me knowing, without me understanding that it's about you siphoning energy from me, that energy is still going to be reversed. When I realized it, that, it was so you can steal energy, not that we can fairly exchange energy, but for you to steal energy, therefore that energy is still going to be reversed because it's an illegal, basically that contract is an illegal contract. It's not supposed to be there in the first place. And this is how the devil has been going on and keeping up with this charade in this environment, making people think that they signed some sort of a contract, and where else those contracts are invalid. All those fucking demonic contracts are invalid because there's nowhere in the universe where you are allowed to be siphoning from anybody or to be using anyone else's energy in any way. Whether you're stealing it or they're giving it to you, you're not allowed to do that. And that energy has to be reversed as a result. And I guess I needed to be here for that specific thing, to be able to defragment this specific idea and concept of the devil thinking. You should see how much or feel how much I'm scratching, how much they are upset. Because of I'm realizing this, I'm defragmenting this. There's no such thing as a demonic contract. That is one of the ways of foolery or foolishness that these people thought that they can get away with it by telling people that you sign a contract. The demon has no business making you sign any contract. You cannot give yourself away and your energy away in that way. You have no right. You have no right to use it in that way. That is, you have no right to give it to somebody else. It's illegal for you to give anybody else your energy, and vice versa, for somebody else to use your energy or steal your energy or take your energy. This is why you're going to have to go through a karmic lesson for it, and they're going to have to repay it back. And it's essentially that. It's finished. It's done. So these guys who are busy running around trying to get me into some sort of a contract in some way to say, oh yeah, you see, sign the contract. And I'm like, no. This is not the contract that you sign with God when you come here. You're basically signing the contract to say, you're going to be assisting this person in this manner. Right? They're going to do the same thing for you in that manner. That is, it's a balanced type of contract where it's a give and take. Whereas the demon thinks he can come up with his own, not the demon, the devil, Uncle Devil thinks he can come up with his own concept of some sort of a bullshit contract and make everybody else sign that contract and then make them believe that that is a valid contract. You can actually give him a middle finger and walk the fuck away if you want to. And you should. You don't need to honor that kind of contract. No demonic contract or no kind of devilish or any other contract that expects you to give your energy away like that, or to allow them to come and use your energy in a way like that, is valid. It's an illegal contract. Both you and the devil are doing an illegal transaction. It doesn't work like that. This is why this environment is so low vibrational, because of energy is misplaced. The energy has been taken anywhere and everywhere except for where it should be. And you wonder why this environment keeps going lower and lower and lower and lower in vibration, where you're now trapped. We are in a trapped world, in a trapped low vibrational energetic world, because people have been made to believe that all these deals that they are making, all these demonic and low vibrational contracts that they're making are real. They're not real. Yes, you can do them. Okay, let me not use the word real. They're not valid. You can go ahead and do it, but that's not to say it's valid. You can go ahead and do it, but the defragmentation part of it means you and the devil are going to be in some sort of a situation when defragmentation runs through, or when the light of the upgrade runs through. You're gonna have to reverse that energy. It's not whether or not you want to, or whether or not you signed up with the devil, and whether or not you got a contract. You motherfucker are going to have to get your own fucking universe and do that shit in your own fucking universe. Not here. That's it. You can go and do your fucking contracts of some demonic contracts elsewhere with your energy. That is the one that you created yourself. You and the devil can go and have those kind of underhand deals somewhere else, not here. We don't care for that. Oh no, we have a contract. Fuck that contract, and fuck you too. Because essentially I'm here suffering because of people are going around. Some know what they're doing. Most people don't know. But some, that is the high level kind of beings who should know better, they're doing this. Even people from other planets are doing this type of contracts. They're doing all this type of contracts, and they're doing them on this kind of low vibrational, devilish, demonic kind of way. And they think it's real. It's not. It's real in a sense that yes, you did it. You say, you shook your hands and all of that, but it's invalid. And that shit's going to be defragmented. That energy is going to have to go back to where it needs to go back to. Period. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, I don't know. I kept asking this question even before. Why do they think that these contracts of theirs are real? Why do they keep trying to get me into some sort of an unrealistic, invalid contract? And they're so sure about it. They're so invested in this whole thing of, we want to get you married to this person. Even the karmic fucking relationships are going to have to be split. You're not going to be able to keep any karmic relationship that you were not supposed to be in the first place. That shit, if your husband or your wife is next to you and they're not supposed to be with you, they use some sort of magic to get you to be there and all of that. Well, unfortunately, when that light comes, that shit is not going to work. People will be like, oh, what are you going to do? Oh, you watch. You sit and watch. He's not going to be able to sit next to you. He's going to pick up his shit immediately. He's not going to wait 2 days, 3 days. He's going to, as soon as that light goes through him, he's going to look at you and be like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is this? I need to get out of here. It will be reversed. You cannot keep that relationship. So, yeah. And they shouldn't. No one is going to keep that relationship. Oh, no. But what about the children? What about the children? You created them, right? You're going to have to be doing what you need to be doing for that child. That doesn't mean that your so-called fake husband or whatever it is. I don't know what to call these husbands and these wives who've been forced in these kind of marriages. I don't know what to call them. It is what it is. If you think we're going to not move forward just because of you have children or karmic children, you're joking. Those children are anyway not going to make it as well in the 5D. So they're going to have to also be upgraded in this environment. That is, they're going to have to watch you and your husband or your ex or whoever that would be for you after that upgrade. Have to watch you and learn things differently. See you for who you really are and see their father or their mother for who they really are and understand where they play a role in the universe. Father will take care of the children as he needs to take care of the children. But it's so funny because people would say shit like that, but when they've been divorcing each other left, right, and center, when the universe starts to do it because of it's illegal in the first place, that fucking marriage is a fucking illegal marriage. It's not sanctioned by God. You are not supposed to be unionized with that person in the first place, and you did it because of you following these rules of this planet, which is okay then, but going forward, that shit is not going to work. Your karmic relationship and the karmic children that came out of it are going to have to shape up. It's not the universe's fault in that way. You can blame that on the devil. You can blame that shit on the devil. And your own self as well. Before you go find the devil, you must ask yourself, why would you do something like that? Why would you get yourself into a relationship when you could see that this is not right for you? You forced it. You either forced it to happen or you forced yourself to stay in it. That's essentially what it means. And that separation is not necessarily what I'm saying is you're going to have to also go through a karmic lesson during that to understand what it's like, why you shouldn't have been there in the first place. It's a lesson. You're going to learn why you should never force any kind of relationship with anybody just because of you're 35 years old and you feel like you're old, or you're turning 25 and you need to be in some sort of a marriage or engaged or with children and all of that. Right? You're supposed to be following your path. You are going to get those things the way you needed to get them, when you needed to get them. Not by forcing things and being in karmic relationships and creating karmic children and in karmic environments and expecting them to be any better in the future. I don't care. We don't need that child in the 5D. I don't care. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I don't give a fuck. Anybody who is not going to be able to shape up because of they have some sort of issues, they're going to have to go and ask God about it, right? I'm just doing what I need to do, and I'm just looking at it and I'm thinking, what's the point of taking all this karmicness into the 5D? Funny thing is, you're not even going to the child won't be able to survive the 5D, not alone the 5D. They're not going to be able to survive the 4D. That is, if you have children and they are behaving karmically because of your karmic shit, that is, they took from you, you better start learning differently. You better start moving in a different way to help those children to move in a different way as well. That is, you better start vibrating high so that those children learn the right way of doing things, so that they also learn to vibrate high. And then they can move and ascend on their own. It's not a big deal in terms of that. It's not really a big deal. The divorcing and whatnot, that's for you to go and sort out with the court system, this human being court system, and get what you need to get for the child. And he can't steal energy from you, or she can't steal energy from you anymore. The imbalancing of things of, we're going to take everything here, we're going to give this one everything and all of that is going to have to be balanced as well. If you took someone else's shit without that energy being balanced on your side, that is, they gave you too much, energy is going to be reversed. It's not your energy. If you're supposed to be splitting everything 50-50 and somebody got something way more than they needed to for no reason, and when it's balanced out, it does look like you got extra here. This is why you're able to live the way you live, because of you using someone else's energy to live in that way. It's going to be zapped out. It's going to be returned to the owner. You can't keep it. It's not yours. So no, I'm looking at it and I'm laughing and I'm like, these comics, why do they keep doing? And I realize now that, you know what, these guys are really set on this idea that they can make people sign demonic and contracts, right? And bind them into some sort of an illegal contract. But that shit is really not real. You can turn away from it and walk away from it. You don't have to. You just have to tell the devil, you know what, this contract, according to the laws of the universe of energy, you're not supposed to live off my energy, and I'm not supposed to live off your energy. So this contract is invalid. So stuff you. That's it. And that's the first thing, that the comics think that by getting me signing into some sort of a deal with someone in some way, they get to have that kind of control over me. And I'm laughing. And I'm like, yeah, right. In your mind, in their mind, that they are using, that they at the back of their whatevers. That's their mind. That shit can happen there. The other thing is that they would keep going on with this thing, thinking that the idea they had was they're going to be able to afford the energy to keep up with this shit. But the problem is, it's balancing out, that is in the universe and in this environment. What they used to have, the kind of access they used to have, to be able to use that access to get what they needed in order for them to keep up with the future in that way, or to afford the future in that way. That is the energy that they used to have access to, that they used to steal in order for them to get money, in order for them to be able to pay off these people who would be swayed not to do what they needed to do when they needed to do. That is not answer to their contracts. That energy is been taken away, right? Meaning that they cannot afford anything anymore. That is, at some stage, it's going to get to a point where to buy someone is going to be expensive, because of they don't have the energy to create that kind of money. Second to that, they've been paying off so many people since that I'm sure by now they are running out of money, because I'm seeing it with my uncle. He doesn't look so great when it comes to having to spend. Yes, he does still spend, but I get the feeling that he is spending a whole lot more of these big items. It's almost like, I don't know, I get the feeling he's paying a lot of people a lot of money, or promising things that he cannot deliver. On the third thing, the other thing is the environment is getting high vibrational, especially where we are, meaning that people are going to be awake at some stage. Like, clarity is going to be there. It's going to be their standard way of living. So when you say something to someone, they're going to ask themselves a lot of questions before they can kind of like agree with what you're saying. If you're not making any sense, they're not going to just fall for your bullshit anymore. They're going to be questioning things, because of high vibrationalness. Environment will be supporting them in that way. But they might still be karmic, granted, but at the same time, they might not necessarily be that karmic anymore, and you might not necessarily be able to influence them in that way. So it's the more that happens, and the fact that they don't have access to the energy that they used to use to be able to afford to get certain things in order for them to get to afford to buy people off, is not going to be there. Then the environment is going to be high vibrational. Then people are going to be waking up. So slowly but surely, the devil is going to run out of an environment to create his rubbish. An energy source is gone as well for him to be able to create his rubbish. And even opportunities, because the path that I had is coming to an end with them. And it's actually come to an end a long time ago. It's just that they don't want to let it go. They don't want to accept that the time for them to let go and accept their defeat came and it went, right? And it came again and it went. And they still think that they can continue to do the same type of routine of, okay, we're going to go and wait for her to be in a state where she moves on to the next week, where the tower is going to come or the ending is going to come. And we're going to just keep moving it forward and moving it forward. And yes, it's painful on my side because of I'm being delayed in that way. But at the same time, when you look at it, it's like, how long are they going to keep this shit up? Well, knowing the comings, they can keep this shit up for a long time. However, there must be some time where they're never going to have another opportunity. That is, they'll look at the future and they won't be able to buy anyone because there's nothing coming, right? There's no one coming. They won't be able to stop any funds coming through because there's no funds coming through. They won't be able to change some way of me being or doing something because I'll just be here waiting for them to do whatever it is that they want me to do, which is never going to work. And when that shit happens, it's like there's no point to move, you know. Moving me is not even like going to make any difference because I'm just that bored, you know. I just don't have, there's nothing you can do with me as a pawn. It's almost like they've been playing with me all this time. It's like I'll be the only pawn left, right? And it's either you're going to remove it from the chessboard and be like, okay, it's done, we finished. Or what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Keep it there. It will sit there. It doesn't matter. But then what? Where would you be as the player? You're not going to sit there and wait for this, for the last pawn left on the board, just looking at it. You're not going to sit there and look at it. When it's done, it's done. And they are essentially getting closer, very close to that place where they're not going to have any options. They're not going to have any ideas of how to move forward. And that's the problem. It's like, even if it's almost like they don't have, maybe let's just say they've got two choices. Either they let this shit go and allow me to move forward the way I needed to move forward, or they don't allow me to move forward the way I needed to move forward. Like, they don't stop interfering with my shit so that I can move forward. Or I'm just going to sit here and watch them do the things that I know that eventually is going to stop. It's like there's nothing else for them to stop. Then what are they going to do? Because I'm going to walk away either way. I'm just waiting for my things to be in place. But at the same time, I feel like that is not going to happen. But this last thing that is happening now, I feel like it's the last. I have lost my patience. I'm in a state of, I cannot take it anymore. So the next part for me is to wait until such a certain time and then leave. I don't know where I'm going. Do I care? No. I seriously don't give a shit. I feel like by the time that needs to happen, that's when I'll have an idea of where I'm going. For now, I don't even give a shit. I just told myself I'm just going to start preparing myself mentally and starting to also prepare to see what can I take, how can I pack my stuff, how can I travel and all of that. And just leave it at that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter even if I stay here. Because when I stay here, I'm going to become too expensive to keep. They're most probably going to be the ones who are going to say, you need to go. I burped, so it's true. So I'm going to become expensive to keep. And I intend to be. I'm going to be expensive, not only financially, but most expensive. The expensive that I'm going to be is energetically expensive. It's like they're going to have this heavy energy in the house that they need to feed and clothe and put a roof over their heads and whatnot, because that's what they wanted to do, right? I was supposed to be elsewhere and they directed me here. But now they're going to realize that that way of doing things was actually them giving away their energy. Because once the energy starts balancing out, that's when they're going to start seeing, after the balancing, the imbalance happening to the other side. It's almost as if like they gave themselves away. They gave their energy away. They opened a portal for me, between me and them, right? To siphon energy. And they're siphoning. Even now they're siphoning. However, I'm going to get to a point where I'm going to siphon more than what they take, which is exactly what I'm doing now, to be honest. But they are able to slowly, little by little, keep tapping, siphoning, disrupting my program, and they keep stealing energy in that way. And continuously so. Like, sometimes they can be going through it for like a whole 2 hours, siphoning. Especially when I'm trying to sleep or sleeping. They'll be siphoning from my solar plexus, right? Which is my energy source. And what happens is, when I wake up and I do something, I reverse that energy. And I take some of theirs as well, because the portal is open, right? And now they're not going to be able to draw energy from me anymore. But because of the portal is open, whenever I wake up, I'm just going to be using whatever energy source that is available, and it's theirs. Therefore, I'm going to be pulling from them. This is how I become expensive for them, because they're going to get drained energy-wise. It's not going to be easy for them to keep something that is heavy in their environment. I'm going to become heavier than the environment itself. And that's going to be a problem. It's already like that. It's just that they think that they still have a chance. This is why I'm like, I don't understand these people. They think that they still have a chance. What they don't realize is that I have been running for such a long time now, since my awakening and stuff, that I'm almost finished with what I needed to do. So them trying to stop it in that way, or stop me in that way, the fact is, I've been defragmenting since I've been sitting here. Whether they like it or not, Father's telling me that you're even doing things that were not part of the plan. So that means that they're going to get to a point where, because I'm defragmenting anything in this environment, even the things that I wasn't meant to defragment, meaning I'm finding more things to reverse energy from. For instance, the same thing that I just realized now about these devilish contracts, that these contracts are actually invalid. I just defragmented that shit. Then what? Had they not left me here for too long, I would have probably not seen it, and I would have went past it. But because of the, oh goodness, I remember now. Yeah, there is a vision. And I kept remembering this before, but I didn't know what it meant per se. And Father said, you're going to defragment. They kept you there, but they don't realize that you're going to do something. You're going to defragment the devil contracts. And at the time when Father was telling me this, because of I was not knowledgeable about a lot of things at the time, I didn't understand what he meant. But he says to me, the devil's not going to see it coming. Oh my goodness, this is the tower. Shit. That's his tower. And I kept seeing something like, you're the tower. And I'm like, me, I'm the tower. Father's like, they're not going to see it coming. I'm the tower. That is me defragmenting devil contracts, right? Uncle Devil's contracts is essentially releasing anyone who's been in this environment in some sort of a devilish kind of contract, and making sure that these devilish kind of contracts are not going forward. So I'm defragmenting that concept that you have signed some sort of a devilish, demonic of some kind of energy harvesting or energy stealing or using of someone else's energies, which is illegal. I'm defragmenting that. I'm reversing that. And by so doing, it means the devil is, I'm the tower. Now I see why Father said, there is somewhere where I was reading the cards and they say, and I was like, the tower. And it says, you, the tower. It's like, what do you mean I'm the tower? And I thought it was the tower when I leave this place. But now I'm realizing that no. The tower is me removing all of the main thing that, one of the main things that Uncle Oldman has, which is this demonic contracts or devilish type of contracts that he has with people. I'm essentially dismantling them. They cannot come with us. No one is going to come with that kind of contract. Actually, not that. That contract is not valid. Any demonic contract, any karmic contract that people have signed between themselves of some kind, we are not tolerating that shit going forward. We don't give a shit how you signed it and why you signed it. That energy is going to be reversed. Demonic, devilish, karmic contracts, all of them are going to be balanced out. Period. We don't need that shit going forward. And this is the tower. Father said they're not going to see it coming. This is why I'm going to become expensive. Because the more I sit here, I remember now I remember Uncle Devil saying, you need to get her out of there. The more she sits there, the more she defragments this environment, the more she messes things up. You need to get her out of there. I'm going to be told to leave. They're going to chase me out. Father said, they're not going to see it coming. You're the tower. And I'm like, what? I'm the tower, what? I remember Father saying this to me one time. He said, they're not going to see it coming. You're the tower. You're going to defragment their demonic and devilish contracts. I was like, huh? I didn't understand then. And then I understood. I didn't understand it. I think some other title person said something about it. And I remembered that I was remembering. And I kept remembering this. Kept remembering it. And I couldn't understand, why do I keep this thing in my head all this time? That there's something about Devil and some contracts. Something about Uncle Devil and some contracts. But it never got through. I never got through it. Now when I'm sitting and I'm defragmenting just anything and everything that I can defragment, because I don't know what next to defragment. I'm realizing now that the reason why it become expensive to keep in this environment, the devil said, Uncle Devil said, get her out of there, because the more she sits in there, you know what I felt like when I was looking at his vision. She's busy sitting there and defragmenting this environment. Because I'm watching it at a state where I'm not that kind of a person who does this. I'm not Destiny at the time, right? As in, like, I don't identify with my real self. So I'm wondering why Uncle Devil is so upset with me, as if like I'm wasting things and I'm messing up things. And he's so angry. He was pissed. And he's like, you need to get her out of there, because she's busy defragmenting everything. And she's defragmenting, she's messing up my system or something like that. And I was like, what did I do? Father's like, don't worry. You defragmented their demonic contracts. They're upset. They didn't see it coming, that you're the tower. Their extension that they did, they just threw something at me now, on my arm. Oh goodness, Father, please protect me from getting a sore here. It went from my arm up until here as well. Thank you, Father. And it was the energy. So, essentially, them changing this environment, not the children, them yesterday on Sunday going in and trying to change what is going to happen for this week, right? They kept me, it keeps me here, right? Because that's what they want. However, I'm not on the program anymore. That is this week again. I'm running off program. So I'm just picking up anything and everything that is around me, because of I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be here doing this. I'm supposed to be moving forward to do something else somewhere. But because of they keeping me here, I'm now processing things in their databases, I guess, in their environment that are not working, that are breaking the system. I'm just picking up any old thing that is there that just doesn't look right. It's like leaving someone who is what do they call this? These people who are organizers, right? And you're leaving them in this room, which is disorganized, right? And you're thinking they're going to get so crazy with their disorganization, and they start packing and throwing away things, right? When you come back, you find that they organized everything. And then after organizing everything, they threw away a lot of things that you thought they were important, that you wanted to keep as important. They threw them away. This is so funny. Because Father's like, they don't realize you're going to go there. Let me put it this way. It's karma. They got instant karma. Fucking with my shit yesterday on Sunday. That is fucking with my stuff that was supposed to happen this week from today. Because they did something that is going to stop something from happening. Right? For me to move forward. I'm essentially reversing that. And they're getting karma for it because of I'm supposed to be doing something else and I cannot do what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm not running on God's program. I'm not running on God's plan anymore. I'm still there, but the stuff that I was supposed to process are finished. They are finished and I'm processing though. Right? I'm processing things. I'm just looking for things to process because I'm supposed to be elsewhere doing something else, or processing another environment, but because of they don't want to let me be, they keep fucking up with my shit, then they're leaving me here longer, and I just keep running. I'm going to keep running, and I'm going to keep making their lives difficult. They called for it. They asked for it. Damn it. But I feel like there was something else that I was supposed to do. I'll see. Because it's a whole week. I get the feeling these people are going to tell me to leave before the week ends. There's something that I'm going to do again. It wasn't just the demonic contract. There's something that I did before. I forgot what it was. But we'll see. The longer they keep me here, the more I'm going to be defragmenting the environment. And the more I defragment the environment, the more power I take away from them. And Father said something like, that thing that you're going to do when you defragment that contract thing, you're essentially going to reverse all the energy in the universe. All the stolen energy in the universe. Like this, all the stolen energy that is tied up with the devil is going to be released. My goodness. Now I know why Father left me here. Because of defragmenting it, that is seeing it for what it is, that it's not valid. There's no way this contract can be valid in an environment where the law of this universe that runs this universe, the energy law that makes this universe, this world spin, us breathing, walking and living, says you cannot live on anyone else's energy. So you cannot live on anyone else's energy in any way. It doesn't say, oh, you cannot live on anyone else's energy unless they give it to you or unless you make them sign a contract. There's no such a thing. It's illegal to live off anyone else's energy. And energy has to be in balance all the time. So all these bloody contracts that people made, all these karmic relationships, karmic marriages, karmic shit that people got themselves, karmic businesses, karmic whatever it is that is not energy, that is transferring energy in an illegal way to someone and not really returning that energy back, that is creating karmic debt. That is because that karmic debt is essentially why we have such low vibrational environment as well. It's like we're so used to doing bad shit that we don't realize that that bad shit, the more of us think it's okay for us to live a certain way, to lie, to cheat, to steal, all those things, the more this environment gets low vibrational. And as it gets low vibrational, it means that we're never going to get anywhere. And why is it never going to get anywhere? Because if we're keeping contracts which are not supposed to be there in the first place. So in order for this world or to help this environment to vibrate high, we need to get rid of any karmic thing that is there, any low vibrational shit that is there, any energy stealing kind of method, concept, ideas, things that are existing, relationships, people, you name it. That has to be defragmented. And the energy has to be reversed. The energy has to be reversed. I can't wait to defragment some more of these things, of these people. Because they think that they're smart by keeping me in this place. But what they did yesterday, they're going to wish that they never did it. They're going to wish they never interfered with me moving forward. I did do something. I did something before. I defragmented something before. Or was this the first thing? And I think this is why Father wanted me to stay here. He said to me, you're going to do something there that that's going to help you reverse the energy and help a lot of, and he said he's going to help a lot of people. There's no such a thing. People need to walk away from all these devilish things, all this low vibrational energy stealing shit. You walk away. The law is only one law in the universe. You are not, it's illegal to live off anyone else's energy. I don't care what human laws you have. If those human laws are somehow siphoning energy from you or keeping you in some way of stealing energy from you, you have a right to remove yourself from it. Ask your ancestors and God to help you get yourself out of those type of relationships or karmic shit that you got yourself tied up to. It's invalid. The devil cannot do anything. You know why? The devil doesn't even have a say in this shit. It's not his energy. So he must shut up. He must go get his own energy, and then he can start negotiating with people when he has his own energy. Yeah. But anyway, I think that's it for now. Is there anything else, Spirit? Because I don't know. I don't even know how I started with this. It just came. I'm just thinking of what I'm going to name this recording. But anyway. Thank you, Spirit.